Before you begin assembly, remember every piece of equipment is only as safe as the person using it. People prevent accidents. Improper use of this equipment will result in serious injury or death. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary that you follow all federal OSHA, state, and local codes and regulations for the proper use of this equipment. The first step in safely completing the job is having the correct equipment. When choosing the correct scaffolding for the job, you should ask yourself these types of questions. What job am I trying to do? How high must I go? How wide can the frames be? How many work levels will I need? Will I need scaffolding that can be moved on wheels? What type of frames will work best? What type of surface will I be working on? Are there power lines nearby? Will I need side brackets, outriggers, or other accessories? Discuss these and any other questions you may have with your Bill Jacks dealer. He is the expert. Use the knowledge he has to help you complete the job safely. Check all components for damaged, bent, or broken parts. Do not use any of these in the scaffold setup. Read all safety literature provided with the equipment, and read and understand all decals provided on the scaffold components before using them. Now you're ready to begin assembly. OSHA requires that all scaffolds shall be erected, moved, dismantled, or altered only under the supervision and direction of a competent person qualified in scaffold erection, moving, dismantling, or alterations. Individuals involved in these activities shall be trained by the competent person. The competent person is defined by OSHA as one who is capable of identifying existing and predictable hazards in the surroundings or working conditions which are unsanitary, hazardous, or dangerous to employees, and who has authorization to take prompt, corrective measures to eliminate them. When assembling the scaffolding, be sure to place the base unit on a level surface capable of carrying the intended load. If the surface is ground or soil, mud sills should be used and attached under the base plates for them to rest on. Adjustment can be made by using leveling jacks. Start the assembly of the base unit by connecting 2 diagonal braces to one frame unit. Fasten the braces to the locks provided and secure them. Then assemble the opposite frame to the diagonal braces. Insert a caster, leveling jack, or base plate into each of the frame legs on the base unit and secure with fastening pins or leveling stem retainers. If you are using casters to make a rolling scaffold tower, make sure you lock all casters before continuing the assembly of the tower. A squaring or catacorner brace must be used on the base unit every 20 feet of tower height. On stationary scaffold or on long continuous scaffold runs, it is a good idea to install a catacorner brace at the base and every 20 feet of height, each bay horizontally as well. Always be certain the scaffold is plumb and level before adding the next level. Install and fasten insert pins in the top of each frame leg, if not already permanently attached to the frames. Finally, install a complete deck on top of the first level. States recommend that the maximum freestanding tower height permitted for a rolling tower be 3 times the smallest base dimension. However, OSHA codes allow a ratio of 4 to 1. Consult your state and local codes to make sure your tower complies with all regulations. Be used on stationary scaffolds. Check OSHA codes for proper planking information. If you spill corrosive material, paint, grease, or oil on a walkboard, remove it from service and neutralize or clean the area immediately. Use guard railing and toe boards as required by OSHA. Cordon off areas around the scaffold when work is being done to keep personnel away. Never exceed the state or local maximum height regulations for a freestanding or rolling tower. Install outriggers or tie the scaffolding to a permanent structure if it exceeds them. The top level of your scaffold is generally the work level and should be fully decked and have guard railing installed. If an intermediate level is used, it too should be fully decked and have guard railing installed. Side guardrails, end guardrails, and toe boards must be used. Check all guardrail to make sure that it is installed properly and pinned, and that all walkboards are secured. OSHA requires that all freestanding stationary scaffolds in excess of the 4:1 height ratio be anchored to prevent tipping. The first anchor must be installed as near as possible to the frame ledger at a vertical height not to exceed the 4:1 ratio. Additional ties must be installed at vertical intervals, not to exceed 20 feet on narrow scaffolds and 26 feet on scaffolds wider than 3 feet. The top tie must be within the 4:1 ratio from the top. Ties must be installed at each end of the scaffold and at a maximum distance horizontally of 30 feet. This must